coordinator at the Denham Springs-Walker Branch Library, and we are back in the Idea Lab. Today, I am going to be learning about what I personally think is the scariest machine in here.
I'm Misty Crawford, and the sewing machine is not the scariest machine. It's simple, and I'll show you how to use it. Okay, since you wanted to make a simple project, all we needed was our fabric and some thread. To get to sewing, we have our sewing machine, we have a Singer stylus. It's pretty simple to work. You're going to need to thread your machine. And if you are not lucky enough to already have a whole bunch of these already done, this little wheel thing is a bobbin. You need it to make the underside of the thread. They kind of go together. They lock together. There are certain ways that you thread through here. To wind this, it locks over to the wind, it moves over, and you're ready. To thread, you put it here. This keeps it stable as you put it through your machine. It kind of tells you what you need to know. It gives you numbers. It says go here, go here, go here, and to do it. This one is a fancy machine, and I will tell you why. Once you have your thread all the way through all the little loops it tells you to go to, your needle is here, this is your foot, and your bobbin's going to go in here. This one has a handy-dandy threader. Means that you don't have to go cross-eyed to thread your machine. And it does it. Alright, our thread is through, we put it under our foot and pull it back here. This one has an internal bobbin and it is fantastic. You open it up here, and it wants you to put it in a certain way so that it pulls this way. You put it in, wrap it around, two little things, and then it gets pulled. Around this and back. You're going to wind your bobbin forward. And your thread is going to pull the other thread through. So now you're all set. Put them under, put it back together. And now you get to do the fun part.
What's the fun part?
The fun part, especially when you're making a pillow, is that you have a square or a rectangle of fabric, and you just sew. It's straightforward. You're going to put it through here. We're even going to cheat a little bit and use the fold that it comes with.
Awesome.
To not have to do so much work. And now comes the worky bits. You have your power, but you also have another cord that is basically like driving your car. You're going to push down, it's going to go forward, you're going to let up, and it's going to slow down or stop. Luckily, it kind of feeds through pretty much on its own, and you're just going to go forward. You want to leave enough space on the side that it has a good, at least 3/4 of an inch space. That way, if it ever gets pulled, your pillow doesn't come all apart so quickly. Make a little cut so that whenever we turn it, it won't be so bunched up right there. But you want to make sure that your thread is all the way in, so that when you lift it up, now it's not being held by anything but the needle. We can whoop, turn it, and it's ready to go. Now, pillows are great. They make great gifts. They look great in the house. Your moms, your sisters, your girlfriend probably like to have lots of pretty things around the house. And you can make one of these and they will be awfully impressed. And if they're anything like me, you've made it for, you know, like half the price of an actual pillow, and they appreciate that too. Now this machine will do a lot of really fancy stitches. Before I finish, I was going to show you. If I turn it, all of these different stitches are ones that you can, that are programmed in, and you can, you know, that's 10. 10's going to give you this thing that looks like a football pennant. However, they also have machines that do all of that on their own, and they cost thousands of dollars, but this is cheap, and we have it right here at the library. Great for making doll clothes. All right. Now, if you're like my daughter, you are far less interested in doll clothes, and you might want to make things like, you know, not hideous curtains for your own room, or you bought something at Goodwill and the pants legs are way too long. You can make them be just the way you want them to be. As we get to the end, back to our fold here, we're going to want to leave about a finger's width open because we're going to need to stuff our pillow. You can stuff it with old cloth, but Walmart sells perfectly good fluffy stuffing. Some people like to use like beanbag filling. This isn't that kind of pillow, but I guess you could. The next step is going to be for us to stuff our pillow. It is behind you.
Is that inside out, right side out, whatever?
This is inside out. You want your stitches to be on the inside, so it's inside out, and we're going to have to turn it.
Makes sense-ish.
Right. That's also something that the opening helps us do, of course. I don't know if I need the little ones. Okay. So we're just going to feed it through, pulling it back so that you see the brightly colored side. I can honestly say that I thought that this was magic when I was little, that my grandmother could do this. She won a whole dime off of me because I bet her that she couldn't do it. Our hole is actually big enough that if we wanted to, we can put our hand in. But here we go. This is what our pillow will look like. We're going to take our stuffing, just a small handful at a time. We're going to feed it through the hole. If you wanted to, you could put buttons on something like this. You could use some of the fancy stitches to make it more elaborate. Of course, this fabric is very, very colorful all on its own. So something like this, you probably wouldn't want to add a lot to. But if you have really plain fabric, if you go in a fabric store, you're going to see so many things that you can put on it. Ruffles. You can get glitter material. Whatever you want to, however you want your room to look, however you want your house to look, you can make it. And the great thing is, it means you are not stuck with whatever some other designer has decided to make when you decide to decorate your room. Also, it means that in an afternoon, You can make somebody a gift, and they totally don't have to know that you forgot that their birthday was coming. And it's unique, and it looks thoughtful. Shape it and move it around, and we have two options. At this point, we can hand stitch. You just thread a needle and sort of weave it in and out the sides, or we can do a quick stitch on this. For this sort of stitch, you want it to be very close to the edge. You're trying to hide it. And trim your excess thread here. And you have a beautiful throw pillow for your couch, for your bed, and it takes very little time. It's not scary. Yes, it pulls, but it's not going to sew through your hand. And I think that anyone could use it. What do you think, Stephen?
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you did that. Well, thank you, Miss Misty, for showing us what wonderful machines and equipment we have available in the Idea Lab. When we get back open, make sure you make an appointment to either book a librarian to maybe learn how to use one of these simple Singer machines, or book a librarian and we can possibly help you sew together a cute little project like this. Well, for now, I will sign off, and we'll see you guys next week for another STEAM Saturday.
See you later.